Good evening, everybody. This is my persuasive speech for effective speaking. We are in the Brandon 44 Lounge. This is my 10-man audience. So I chose cigarettes, and the reason why I chose cigarettes is one of the most common things we see today. Everybody knows somebody who smokes cigarettes. I mean, here at college we have smokers' doors, designated smoking areas. But I always found it odd of all the illegal drugs that are out there, all these things that are banned or we're not supposed to use, and the thing that kills people off the most is the one thing that's legal, and that's cigarettes. And this is why I say no to cigarettes. So who smokes? Each day, people 18 and younger, like people our age mostly, over 3,200 people per day smoke their first cigarette, and the number is only rising year by year. And over 2,000 people now, for kids this age, are already daily smokers. A pack a day or at least a few a day. 9 out of 10 smokers start before the age of 18, and 98 start smoking by 26. So 26, your life's basically just beginning, and already over 98% of the people who do smoke are already smoking by then. And over time, it may not really hit you right now, but over time you feel the effects. 1 in 5 adults and teenagers smoke. So overall, just for the population, like I said, there was 11 people, 10 people in here. Half of us are mostly smoking. In 2011, 19% of the U.S. adults were cigarette smokers. This number is going down. It used to be a lot worse, but it's still, a high amount. 18% of high school students smoke cigarettes. Like, we were in high school, everybody knew there was a lot of smokers out there, and this number is way, way too high. 18% of high school boys were current cigar users. People don't realize, people smoke occasional cigars sometimes, but it's just as bad as cigarettes in a lot of ways. But, however, the good news is, for now anyway, from 1964 to 2014, the number has gone from 42% to 18% of people who smoke. So the number is going down, but it's still way too high. Next thing is, people always just smoke cigarettes just because, but is it really that bad like everybody says? It really is. Apparently, more than 16 million people have at least one disease from smoking, whether it could be heart disease, liver disease, lung disease, blood disease, anything like that. More than 20 million Americans have died because of smoking since 1964, and including 2.5 million deaths due to exposure from secondhand. Secondhand's big because people don't realize that when you smoke, you're not just affecting yourself, but other people. 8.6 million people live with a serious illness caused by smoking, which, you see all the time. You see the commercials where, the people can't really talk, or the guy with the teeth, he couldn't, he missed all of his teeth. These are all different diseases that people live with. And on average, people who smoke die 13 or 14 years younger than the average person. Other facts about smoking cigarettes: 9 out of 10 lung cancers are caused by smoking, and nowadays heart disease and lung cancer are actually the 2 leading causes of death in America. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, it's another disease caused by smoking, and there is no cure either, but 8 out of 10 people that have that disease is from smoking. Women, over 40 times more likely to develop it, so it's more of like a women disease, but still can happen no matter what. Smoking increases the person's risk of tuberculosis and dying from it. Just another disease that can be caused from smoking on the long list that there are. More than 11% of high school students in the United States have asthma, and students suggest that youth who smoke asthma are more likely to develop it. I know I have asthma, and growing up, my grandmother smoked a lot of cigarettes. I couldn't even breathe around her just because I have asthma. Smoking slows down the lung growth in children. So typically, people who need to get rid of lungs or have lung transplants because they're too small, a lot of times it could be because of their family before them. Lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer death among both men and women in the United States, and 90% of lung cancer deaths in men and women, approximately 80% of them among women, are due to smoking. So smoking is a leading cause of most of these bad things. Like I said, cancer. Smoking causes many other types of cancer than those other ones already mentioned, like throat cancer, mouth cancer, nasal cavity, esophagus, stomach, pancreas, kidney, bladder, and your cervix, as well as myeloleukemia. A lot of people know leukemia. That's kind of popular. And also, men with prostate cancer who smoke may be more likely to die from diseases than non-smokers. Diabetes, this is actually the fact that shocked me the most out of all of them, and that's that smokers who have a 30 to 40% more likely to develop diabetes. You know, people kind of put diabetes with, you know, either salt intake or sugar intake, but smoking itself can raise the percentage by almost half. Secondhand smoking, an estimated 88 million non-smoking Americans, including 54% of children between 3 and 11, are exposed to secondhand smoke. So almost half children basically in the world are getting secondhand smoke, which is not good. Each year, primarily because of exposure to secondhand smoke, 30,000 non-smoking Americans die of lung cancer. So like I said before, just because you're smoking and you don't care about yourself or you don't think it affects you, it also affects other people around you. Non-smokers who are exposed to secondhand smoke at home or work increase their lung cancer risk by 20 to 30%. That's a really, really high rate, and like I said, you would be shocked that it goes to lung cancer. Non-smokers who are exposed to secondhand smoke at home or work increase their heart disease also by 25 to 30%. Like I said, lung cancer and heart disease are the two leading causes of death in the United States. And more than 33,000 non-smokers die every year in the United States from coronary heart disease caused by exposure to secondhand smoke. So tens of thousands of people are dying who haven't even ever smoked a cigarette just because people smoke cigarettes around you. So keep in mind that you're hurting other people as well as yourselves. And, you know, from personal experience alone, after everything, I had two grandmothers who died from cancer, both caused by smoking. They smoked since they were 13 or 14. And I feel like the problem was back then, you know, they really didn't know what cigarettes did to you. Obviously, the percentage has gone, like I said, went from 42% to 18%. So it has gone down a lot. But still, the number's way too high. The people, there's all this money, there's so much money being made in cigarettes, and that's why they just refuse to make it illegal. But it really is bad for you. There's more deaths from cigarettes than any other drug in the book that you could think of. It's really bad for you, and if you care about yourself, you care about everybody else around you, you want to be there for your kids, you want to be there for your grandchildren. And how would you feel if, you know, you died before your parents did, just because you smoked and they didn't? So, in conclusion, I don't think we should smoke cigarettes. I think it should be illegal. It should be banned. You know, everybody talks about all these other drugs. But in the end, it's about being happy and healthy for your family. Thank you. And this is my 10-man audience.